So you've probably heard the buzz about the latest release from OpenAI, right? Well, this could honestly be the next big thing in AI. Just imagine a world where chatbots make it to an arena, battling to prove who's the smartest. The chatbot arena is like the Amazon of the digital age, where you can put different AI systems against each other in head-to-head combat. You toss a question into the ring like, why is AGI so dangerous? And watch as the chatbots go at it, vying for the title of the most insightful. Recently, a mysterious new contender has entered the arena, causing a stir among AI enthusiasts. Some say it could be the much-anticipated GPT 4.5, while others speculate it might even be the GPT-5. This new model has everyone buzzing with excitement, wondering what it could mean for the future of AI. Now, let me paint you a picture of how this all works. You ask a question, the chatbots respond, and then you rate their answers based on which one you think is better. It's like being a judge in a talent show, except instead of singers and dancers, you're judging the wisdom of AI. But here's the thing. Sometimes companies release new models in secret to see how they measure up on the leaderboard. Every rating you give pushes the ELO higher, shaking up the rankings and giving us a glimpse into the future of AI. So, a few days ago, someone dropped a bombshell on Reddit about a showdown at the chatbot arena. They were testing out different AI models when they stumbled upon something called the GPT-2 chatbot. And get this, it was holding its own against the mighty GPT-4, 0125. Now, this discovery sent shockwaves through the AI community, sparking all sorts of speculation about what this mysterious GPT-2 model could be. People were buzzing with excitement, with some even daring to suggest that it might be the fabled GPT-4. 5 in disguise. The hype was real. But here's where things get really interesting. This is a whole new beast, a fresh contender in the ever-evolving world of AI. You see, this GPT-2 chatbot isn't just holding its own, it's blowing the competition out of the water. We're talking top-notch performance in reasoning tasks, coding challenges, you name it. It's like the Rocky of the AI world, taking on heavyweight champs and coming out on top. Now, I know what you're thinking. But wait, isn't GPT-4 supposed to be the big dog? Well, you're not wrong. GPT-4 has long been hailed as the king of the hill, the ultimate AI powerhouse, but now it seems like there's a new sheriff in town and its name is GPT-2. It's so good that people are buzzing with speculation about whether this new kid on the block is the elusive GPT-4, 5, or just a lighter version of GPT-4. Why all the fuss, you ask? Well, it all comes down to the jaw-dropping abilities of this stealthy model. So here's the scoop. A Reddit user named Kalatia dropped a bombshell by testing various state-of-the-art models with a tricky question. He asked, how many characters are in this message? Seems simple, right? Wrong. The answer was 40, but LLM-3, Mistallarge, Claude Opus, and even the latest GPT-4 all missed the mark. But guess who nailed it? That's right, the GPT-2 chatbot. And here's the thing, it didn't just guess. It went through a step-by-step reasoning process, leaving its competitors in the dust. But that's not all. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Other users have been putting this model through its paces with a series of tests, and the results are nothing short of mind-blowing. From coding challenges to reasoning tasks, this GPT-2 chatbot is flexing its muscles like never before. What sets this model apart is its unique approach to problem solving. While other models might jump to conclusions, the GPT-2 chatbot takes its time, carefully considering each step along the way. It's like watching a master chess player strategize their next move, and the results speak for themselves. Now, I don't know about you, but I find this whole situation absolutely riveting. It's like witnessing the birth of a new era in AI technology, with our GPT-2 little chatbot leading the charge. And with each passing test, it's proving that it's more than just a flash in the pan. So there's also another test making the rounds in the AI community known as the Apple test. And it's got everyone scratching their heads. The question seems simple enough. Today, Tommy has 2 apples. Yesterday, he ate 1 apple. How many apples does Tommy have? Seems like basic math, right? Well, not quite. You see, large language models and AI systems often stumble over this deceptively simple question. Why? Because they get tripped up by the timeline. They see 2 apples and 1 apple eaten, and jump to the conclusion that Tommy must have 1 apple left. But here's the twist. Eating an apple yesterday doesn't change the fact that Tommy still has 2 apples today. It's a classic case of overlooking the time factor. And guess what? Our trusty GPT-2 chatbot comes in to save the day. While other models struggle to grasp the concept, the GPT-2 chatbot nails it with ease. But here's where it gets interesting. It doesn't just give the correct answer. It once again uses a completely different line of reasoning, leaving experts scratching their heads. But that's not all. There's more evidence to suggest that this model is something truly special. Take, for instance, the case of those who claimed that the GPT-2 chatbot solved the Apple test using what appeared to be flawed reasoning. And when asked if other models could crack the code, the answer was a resounding no. Even top-tier models like Claude Opus and GPT-4 Turbo came up short. But perhaps the most intriguing test of all was when someone challenged both GPT-4 Turbo and our amazing GPT-2 chatbot to create a game using JavaScript in a single HTML document. The results? Well, let's just say that the GPT-2 chatbot's creation blew the competition out of the water. It crafted a fully functional game, while its counterparts struggled to keep up. Now, I'm not one to jump to conclusions, but it's becoming increasingly clear that there's something special about this GPT-2 chatbot. Its ability to tackle complex tasks with ease and its knack for thinking outside the box set it apart from all the other AI we've come across. And as speculation continues to mount, one thing's for certain: we're witnessing the dawn of a new era in AI technology. To further prove how amazing it is, we've got 2 games created by 2 different AI models. On one side, we have GPT-4 Turbo, boasting a game with all the bells and whistles, a score, a timer, but sadly not much else. It's like a car with a shiny exterior but a sputtering engine under the hood. Then on the other side, we have our GPT-2 chatbot, whipping up a Space Invaders-style game from scratch that's as addictive as it is impressive. It's a classic case of David versus Goliath, and guess who comes out on top? That's right, our GPT-2 chatbot. But here's where things get really interesting. There's been a lot of speculation swirling around whether this GPT-2 model is even real. Some have their doubts, and who can blame them? But then along comes a tweet from none other than Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI himself. Now, when the big boss speaks, people listen. And what does he have to say? I do have a soft spot for GPT-2. Now, at first glance, it might not seem like much. But here's the kicker. Notice the absence of a dash between GPT and 2. That little detail speaks volumes. You see, the GPT-2 with a dash refers to the older model, the one we've all come to know and love. But when Sam Altman drops the dash and simply says GPT-2, he's talking about something different, something new, something revolutionary. And where do we find this game-changing GPT-2 model? You guessed it, right here on the chatbot arena, sitting pretty between GPT-4 Turbo and GPT-3.5 Turbo. When it comes to performance, GPT-2 has been holding its own against the big dogs like GPT-4 and Claude Opus. Take, for example, the recent ACI Art showdown. Sure, ASCII art might not be the most conventional benchmark for AI prowess, but it's a start. And wouldn't you know it, GPT-2 came out on top, bringing some seriously impressive creations that left other models in the dust. But here's where things get interesting. Some eagle-eyed observers noticed something fishy about GPT-2's ACI art prowess. Turns out some of its creations bore a striking resemblance to artwork found elsewhere on the internet. Now, does this mean GPT-2 is cheating? Well, not necessarily. It could just be that GPT-2 has a knack for recalling training data like nobody's business. Still, it's a curious observation that raises some eyebrows. Now let's talk about how it came up when asked about coding. You could even put GPT-2 through its paces with a little test. Not just any code, mind you, but a piece of code that could help you trade like a pro on TradingView using the RSI indicator. And you know what happened? That clever little GPT-2 chatbot whipped up a piece of code faster than you can say bull market. It was like watching a maestro at work, effortlessly weaving lines of code together to create something truly remarkable. However, when asked to code a trading algorithm for TradingView, while GPT-2 certainly showed promise, it fell short in one crucial area: execution. When I put its code to the test, it came up short, leaving me scratching my head. Was it a fluke? Maybe. But it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Another thing that's been catching people's attention is GPT-2's performance on reasoning tasks. Now, while it's had its moments of brilliance, it's also stumbled on occasion, just like its counterparts GPT-4 Turbo, Gemini Ultra, and Claude 3 Opus. So what gives? Well, it could be that our own biases are clouding our judgment, making us think GPT-2 is better than it actually is. After all, no model is perfect, and GPT-2 is no exception. But here's where things get tricky: the rate limit. Apparently, there's a peculiar rate limit that only allows users to send 8 messages before they get locked out. And that makes testing this model a real challenge. So while we'd love to get deeper and run some more tests, we're a bit limited in what we can do. It's a frustrating roadblock to be sure, but it's one we'll have to get through if we want to truly check out the GPT-2. Now, let's talk about benchmarks. Sure, we'd love to see GPT-2 go head-to-head with other models on something like the MLU, but here's the thing: benchmarks aren't always the best measure of a model's capabilities. They can be inaccurate and sometimes misleading, so we have to take them with a grain of salt. Still, it would be interesting to see how GPT-2 stacks up in a more structured testing environment. Who knows, it might still surprise us. So, what's the verdict on GPT-2? Well, it's tough to say for sure. Some think it's just another test from OpenAI, a glimpse into what the future might hold. Others believe it's a whole new model in its own right, waiting to shake up the AI landscape. But here's the thing: if it's just another version of GPT-4, why all the secrecy? Why not just come out and say it? It's a puzzling question, one that's got everyone scratching their heads. But until we get some answers, all we can do is speculate. So, whether you're Team GPT-2 or Team GPT-4, one thing's for sure: the AI world just got a whole lot more interesting. Alright guys, we've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, do well to click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing contents for you. See you in our next video.